Hello, good morning, and welcome to our webinar today, where we'll be looking at why integrating your CRM with your other business systems can bring a lot of value to your businesses. We'll be taking a brief look at Magic Software's integration platform, detailing the benefits, and we'll also be taking a brief look at some case studies that we have for you guys as well. My name is James Banbury. I'm the Managing Director of SugarBite, and SugarBite is a leading SugarCRM implementation partner. Over the past 5 years, we've implemented just over 250 successful SugarCRM projects here in the UK and also in Europe. And integration is often a key piece of the customer strategy. Leading the webinar today is David Berlin, who is an account manager at Magic Software and business development specialist with 25 years experience in providing solutions in enterprise integration, middleware, mobile application development, and database management. Good morning, David.
Hi, James. Thank you for that great introduction. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our webinar. And as you heard, I'm David Berlin from Magic Software. And we're going to be spending the next hour or so talking about SugarCRM integration. We're going to be going through some of the benefits. I'll tell you a little bit about the company, Magic, just briefly, and then you'll go into some of the case studies. Just a word around the actual webinar. This is being recorded, so all attendees will get a copy, a link to download afterwards. We will be taking questions at the end of the session, depending on the time. So please, if there are questions, write them into the window that you can see, the questions window, and we will try and address them during this session. If we can't, we'll get back to you, and we'll certainly get the answers for you. Okay, so just a little bit about Magic Software and who we are. We are a global provider of application developments as well as integration solutions. Today we're going to be focusing on the actual integration solutions, but it's important to be aware that we also provide application development for mobile apps and for client server and cloud solutions. We've been around for over 30 years, and being global, we've got offices around 24 countries, but we are represented in over 50. We work very closely with partners like James from SugarBite, for example, and that's globally as well. There are millions of users globally that are touched by Magic Software on a daily basis. Revenues are exceeding 202 million, but that is growing rapidly on a year-by-year basis. At the moment, we've got about 1,000 employees, and we're also listed on NASDAQ. Right, so some of the types of customers that we deal with, there's a very wide range of customers. We deal not only vertically, but very much horizontally, and we've got customers that range from small startups all the way through to enterprise-type customers. So you'll see a few names that you may recognize here. We'll be talking about some of the customers a bit later. But I guess the message really here is in terms of the solutions that we offer, we typically provide to mid-market enterprise level, but of course the solutions can be applied to any level, and we do have a number of small organizations that are benefiting today from integration. Our partnerships are of vital importance to us. We work very hard in maintaining our partnerships. We were recently awarded an award from SugarCRM, being a partner-to-partner award, and we also work very closely with some of the large application vendors like IBM, Oracle, SAP, and various others. The reason for this is that when we're talking to our customers, and our customers have got a wide range of different types of systems, they want to be ensured that the integrity of the data is going to be maintained. And the only way that that can be done is by working together with the partners so that the connectors that are accessing those particular applications are either recognized or certified in that market. So that's the reason that we do spend a lot of time and effort maintaining these types of partnerships. It's all for our customers' benefit. A little bit about integration. I'm sure that everyone on the call today has thought about integration at some point. You may have built integration yourself or using some type of tool. But when it comes to integration, what we find is typically it's about changing the paradigm. Very often we'll see an environment where there is tight coupling on a point-to-point basis. So a lot of organizations will start out trying to build integration from one application to another, which is fine for the short term, but as time moves on, this does become ugly, it becomes messy, it becomes difficult to maintain. So the picture that we provide to our customers is more of the transparent loose coupling environment, where it's, the integration platform will maintain the flows between any type of system, regardless of the underlying technology. So when it comes to actually implementing an integration platform, there's some key advantages, such as the agility. You're always going to get improved agility. So it's about rationalizing the IT systems into particular functionality blocks, and those can then be reused. So it's not only about building one application to another, it's more a longer-term view about the general purpose functionality blocks. It's also about increased efficiency. So streamlining the way that business is done by automating any type of process and then being able to change that process very quickly is providing increased efficiency. Of course, rapid innovation, being able to get those projects up and running as quickly as possible is key. So as part of an integration platform, one of the advantages that you'll find is having to be able to build projects very quickly, and then also to be able to change them, ultimately lowering the overall development costs. And when you're considering looking at an integration platform, there's a number of aspects to consider. Some of the things that you should look out for, such as being friendly and easy to use. Any integration platform should be friendly, and people that are using it should be able to get trained up and to maintain that platform moving forward. There's no point in having a platform and then building a complete reliance on the vendor to make changes and to maintain that going forward. It's very important to be able to understand the platform, understand the environment, so that changes can be made yourself. A platform needs to have the pre-built and certified adapters. So like I was mentioning with our partnerships, it's important that those connectors that are accessing your key data are recognized by the application vendors. And then the ability to connect to anything. So it's not just about particular applications. In today's world, we're talking about things like IoT, looking at the particular devices going ahead. When it comes to things like business intelligence, being able to analyze data from multiple sources is becoming more and more important. And of course, it's not only about connecting to data that is on-premise, but it's a combination of both on-premise as well as cloud applications. If you don't have cloud today, the likelihood is you have looked at it as well, or you may be looking to implement some type of cloud solution. So an integration platform should be able to cater for that. And it's also not just about actual ETL, extracting data. It's more about looking at the business processes themselves. Also, from an integration perspective, the type of things to look for is being able to build something and bring it to market very quickly. Having a single skill set, not having to worry about having to employ additional people to maintain that environment. It's more about reducing the levels of employment. So having a single skill set for the platform will help in that way. A platform needs to be scalable. As the organizations grow, as you may acquire new companies, it needs to be able to scale out. Security, of course, security is something that we talk about to all our customers. Being able to transfer data from one system to another, being able to transfer whether it is an ERP, a CRM, or EDI, that messaging needs to be secure, and you need to be able to trust that platform to ensure the security of the data. course, that all leads to a high return on investment. So these are things to be sure of before making a decision on an integration platform, that ultimately you're going to get that return on investment. Let's talk a little bit about SugarCRM and integrating the existing. So you may be using SugarCRM at the moment or considering using SugarCRM. In any case, there are a number of fundamental benefits with integrating. Now, we could talk all day about the types of integrations that could be done with Sugar, but just some of the common things that we typically see is integrating SugarCRM to an ERP system. So that would mean the customer data moving from the stages between an opportunity within Sugar through to a sales order, and looking at the customer order history. These are typical types of cases that we encounter and we provide solutions for. It's also about marketing automation. So marketing automation is not only coming from one particular system, it's not only coming from the Sugar system, but it's also being able to combine that data with information, whether it's from social media or from other systems, being able to provide the best experience and the best marketing, regardless of the type of marketing tools that are being used. E-commerce is very big as well. We see a lot of our Sugar customers that are asking us about integrating to the e-commerce platform. So again, it doesn't matter what type of e-commerce platform you'd be looking at or chosen. It's about the stock control, cash flow, a number of things within an e-commerce that requires the integration. Those are some of the basic common ones that we do see a lot. But ultimately, it is optimizing the whole experience and getting the maximum value out of your Sugar environment. So that's being able to access in real time things like the customer data, order and shipment details, inventory. These are key so that people at a management level can make their decisions rather than having to wait for information from multiple types of systems, but they've got information at hand that is real time and true. And then, of course, ultimately improving the whole customer experience. Just a few words, a little bit about Magic XPI and what it is that we do. Firstly, Magic XPI is the integration platform that Magic provides. So it's a system that connects different types of ecosystems, applications, processes, devices, anything that you have that's going to form part of the business process. Is the type of system is going to integrate all of those. It's a scalable, reliable, and performance type of system. The types of systems that could be chosen could be things like an ESB, an ETL, or BPM. Magic XPI provides the functionality of all of these types of systems. So being an ESB, being able to move towards a service-based architecture and be able to create alerts to particular things that are happening in the organization. It also provides the functionality of ETL. So if the data is being moved across, transferred, transformed, it's about being able to handle large amounts of data in real time to be able to handle any type of business process. But then, of course, the business process management is key to all of that as well, because that's about thinking about your business processes now, but also in the future and how they're going to change as the organization changes, and it's being able to make those changes very quickly. And this is where Magic XPI, the integration platform, can help you. So we think of the actual platform itself and what's included. How does it provide all of this type of functionality that I've mentioned? Well, firstly, there's the server component. And the server is the component that's really going to run all the processes. Once projects have been developed, they get deployed onto the server environment. When we talk about a server, it doesn't necessarily mean one physical server that's sitting somewhere. It could mean a range of servers that are sitting in the cloud, hosted. It's the Magic server that we're talking about. It's the environment that is executing the actual integration processes. We provide a monitor which enables you to look at the current processes that are running, to be able to log them, to see the number of transactions, licensing information, anything about the business processes that are currently in play. You can access them from a web-based monitor. It also allows you to start and stop projects. So it's a very good visibility tool, high-level tool, giving you almost like a dashboard of the environment of the integration processes in play. We have a Visual Studio. The Visual Studio is it's an IDE that's based on visualstudio.net, so it's a familiar environment which allows people to build and deploy the actual projects. Now you can see I mentioned people, I didn't say developers. Obviously when they are building the projects they're classified as developers, but using a tool like Magic XPI, it doesn't have to necessarily mean a .NET developer. It could apply to people with different types of skills that could just learn how to use the studio and then apply that knowledge to build the integration projects. We also have the connectors. This is the ability to connect to anything. So it's about connectors and adapters that are either certified or to be able to connect to things like web services or REST API. Being able to connect to anything gives that functionality within Magic XPI. There's also a whole range of protocols. In fact, there are, I think there's over 100 at the moment of the adapters, protocols, and connectors that can be used within the Magic environment to connect to any type of environment. And if that's not enough, there's also a connector builder. So for companies that want to actually build their own connector and create logic within a connector, they can do that. We provide that facility for organizations as well. So it's being able to extend the current functionality that they're getting out of Magic and expand that to more of a custom usage. So those are the major components that are provided with Magic XPI as a tool. So some of the key benefits with these types of components is, number one, it's easy to use. Having that Visual Studio environment does mean that it's code-free. So you actually don't have to code anything as such. It's all about drag and drop, moving the objects, building your flows, and creating a workflow in an environment that is ultimately easy to look at. It can be reused, you can print it out, and more importantly, it can be passed across to different people, and they'll understand what is actually happening within a business process and how the integration has been built to accommodate that. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a particular application that's being connected. Even if there's some type of human intervention, you build that in the environment, makes it very easy to use, and when it comes to complex integration projects, this gives you the environment to be able to build that. It's very powerful in terms of the architecture and the scalability that we offer. It's a very powerful tool that does scale out. We do use an in-memory data grid, and it provides a very powerful environment for organizations of any type of size. So this is a solution that could be offered to organizations that have got multiple branches globally and are looking to provide a central area to offer them that integration. The comprehensive management and monitoring, I've told you a little bit about the actual monitoring tool. So it gives you that visibility, that overall visibility. And that could be not only for the developers that are building the tools, but also for business users, IT managers, to be able to get a good glance at the current environment. All the pre-built adapters. Now, I've mentioned it several times about these adapters and connectors. Now, it's important to note that with the pre-built adapters that we offer, they contain actual business logic. So when we're talking about SugarCRM and being able to connect to SugarCRM, the adapter has got the knowledge, it understands the environment that it's connecting to, it knows the types of objects to expect and how to display them, it knows the underlying technology that's required to connect to that particular application, regardless of if it's something like SugarCRM or if it's an XML file. It gives you that ability. And it is an enterprise-grade solution that can scale out, and it gives you that ability for failover and clustering. So if organizations that are worried about redundancy and being able to provide an environment that is going to be going to offer that elastic scalability, Magic XPI is that tool. Moving into the digital transformation age with IoT and mobile apps, this can provide that environment for you to be able to connect to all of those types of environments and devices to give you the information that's needed to make any decisions, to move your organization, build strategies. It provides that real-time information to you. I mentioned the connector builder to be able to build your own actual connectors with its own logic that can be used. Now, this is actually very useful to some of our partners who actually build some of their connectors and then resell those on as a solution that they offer. And the Visual Studio, it's a familiar and intuitive environment. It's anyone that has built any type of .NET environment will be familiar with the Visual Studio environment. So it's not going to be something that is foreign and new. There's a short learning curve to get up to speed and up to date with using the tool in a very productive way. When you think about actually going through the process of building an integration project with Magic XPI, these are some of the screenshots just to give you a quick view in terms of what it looks like when you're actually building a project. So this is the Visual Studio interface, and on the left you'll see the toolbox. So this is that's the area that provides you with all the objects that can be used to drag into the actual main pane and build your flows. So all those objects can then be used whether they are connecting to a particular application or a technology. You use those particular objects, and there's an object for any type of environment. So even if you've got your own code, you may have some .NET scripts that have been used for many years and you don't want to give those up. You can incorporate them into the tool and build and use that as part of a flow. One of the key areas is the trigger area. Now, by dragging one of the objects, for example, if you drag the SugarCRM icon into the trigger area, it's going to allow you to create the real-time business process. So that will then listen out for a particular event that's happening within that system. An example is if a customer gets created and it's a new opportunity within the Sugar environment, that will then be a trigger to launch something else from another system. So it could be creating that customer, duplicating their customer record into the ERP, ready for invoicing. But of course, during that flow, you could do multiple types of steps. For example, it could do a check to check the creditworthiness of that particular customer. It could see if that customer exists in the other system first, and then make a decision on how to handle that. In addition, it's also got all the failover and error correction in the same manner that it's aims to all of those checks. So it's about being able to build comprehensive flows within the main pane and through your flow stack. It's also got a mini map. So as the actual flows become more complex, you can have a mini map and scroll to an area within a process that is most suitable for you. This view can be customized, of course. So in this particular view, there's all the properties which on the bottom right-hand corner showing the particular properties for the object that is currently selected. And it also gives you a solution explorer, giving you more of a high-level overview of what has been designed. Of course, with this type of environment, it's all printable as well. So if you're creating documentation that needs to be recorded, you can do so. Electronic documentation can be recorded in, for example, a PDF format to then be able to record that and pass that over to other people. So you don't have to actually open up the studio to be able to see what a business process looks like, but it gives you that ability to see exactly what has been built. And of course, if changes need to be made, it's all about just moving around the particular objects that are associated. Another screenshot that I wanted to show you is being able to set up and configure. So we're not just talking about the type of ETL functionality. This is where it would come in with the actual mapper. So this is the data mapper that allows you to transform data from one source to another. So you can map particular fields. The important thing around this type of mapper is the continuity of how the data is displayed. So on the left-hand side, it could be one particular system going to another, but the data that's actually displayed, it could be data that is from a particular CRM, or it could be from a CSV flat file. It could be any type of data that is being recorded and needs to be mapped from one system to the other. And of course, then, once that mapping has been done, it's about transforming the data, because systems are so different and data is recorded very differently in different systems. So you need to be able to do some level of transformation. And Magic XPI does give you the ability. It's got the advanced transformation, almost like an Excel scripting language to be able to build that. That's the level of coding that would ever be required within Magic in terms of the actual transformation. The product, the studio, does go to an extra level. So once your projects have been built and designed, when it gets to the stage of debugging and testing, Magic will cater for this as well. And we have some customers that are utilizing this in a very positive way, being able to put on checkpoints in the flows and making sure that everything is working correctly as expected and the flow is moving the data as it should. So it's being able to create your unit's workflows, testing them in the test environment before finally deploying this into a production environment. Once it gets deployed in a production environment, it's really just a matter of changing the actual object names that are in development into the production, and you can just move that across into a production environment very rapidly. I just wanted to cover a little bit about some of the connectors that we do offer, because as with the partner relationships that we do have, there are a lot of effort is spent in terms of maintaining and building our actual connectors to ensure that they are recognized and certified by the application vendors. Now, this is a snapshot of some of the connectors, but as I said before, there are over 100 adapters that can be applied. And of course, this list is constantly growing and changing as new technology comes on board and we build new connectors for our customers. So this is just a snapshot of some of them. And with these types of connectors, it's important to note that if you're using different types of versions, it may be legacy systems, one connector will typically be able to provide the functionality of being able to connect to multiple types of versions of a particular application, such as, for example, SAP. It could be multiple versions in an organization. If you think about the actual the SugarCRM connector for Magic XPI, well, it works on the REST API, which is what is preferred by SugarCRM. So we'll always find the technology that is recommended or preferred to be able to communicate with an application, to ensure that it is communicating and interacting in a friendly way that the application understands. So it gives you the ability to perform all the typical types of functionality, such as creating, querying, updating, deleting records, all from within the actual flow. So it does mean that a business flow can actually delete a record based on certain criteria. So as I mentioned before, in terms of looking at creating a new customer, if there is existing records, you may want to actually delete particular information from a record, and Magic will be able to handle it for you. It provides the caching support, the triggering and polling, and that's vitally important for real-time information. So it's not only about scheduling, it's also about being able to create those triggers and offer the information in a real-time environment. Another very important point is that it not only supports the standard modules within SugarCRM, but also the custom modules. Now, a SugarCRM environment is going to change over time. There's going to be new objects created. And what you don't want is that it's going to affect the integration detrimentally. So with Magic, all that happens is you just refresh the actual objects, and you will have all the new modules that have been created at your disposal, and they can be then utilized as part of an existing flow or for new flows. So it's very, very dynamic in that way in terms of the Sugar environment. It works very well for custom modules, and I haven't seen any customer that does not have some level of custom modules. I'm sure that James will back me up on that, being in the thick of that. Right. Okay, and then for everything else, of course, we've got the database connectivity. So if we find that we've got particular applications that need to be built into a particular flow, we will make recommendations on the best type of connectivity, whether it's using database or web services, SOAP or REST, the type of connectivity that is most preferred or that would be the most recommended for that particular environment. You can think about if you've got some type of application sitting on a black box in the corner of the room that nobody wants to touch. It's a system that's been there for many, many years, and the last developer has long gone from the company, but yet the information is of vital importance to business processes. That's the type of system that Magic will be able to explore and expose for you, so that you can open it up and build real-time business processes around that, being able to bring in information from anywhere. Okay, let's go on to some of the case studies. There are several case studies that we do have, and James and I have chosen a few that we thought would be interesting to talk about today. One of which is Sennheiser. Sennheiser is quite a large name in Europe. You may have heard of them. They are a very high producer of audio products in a German-based company with nearly 700 million turnover. That was based in 2015, and getting close to 2,500 employees worldwide. They are a large organization, and a company like Sennheiser have built up over time a large number of applications, systems, processes that could, when we first saw them, we realized very quickly that they could be managed far better than they had been in the past. So that's what we were helping them with. What we identified is that there was, they had an ERP system, which was in fact J.D. Edwards, and they were implementing SugarCRM, and of course they had a whole list of other applications from IBM. They had a Lotus Note system. They had a lot of bespoke applications, and all of these types of applications needed to be part of the workflow. So they evaluated several tools, and Magic was chosen as the tool for the integration. I think specifically because of our experience in the Sugar environment, as well as within the Oracle J.D. Edwards world, we've got a lot of experience, and also the way that the platform works. For example, in a J.D. Edwards environment, we typically see IBM iSeries environments, and Magic's able to run on the iSeries environments as well. I think that was a major benefit that they identified for Magic. There's actually a video. I'm not going to run the video now, but you can go onto our channel on YouTube, look at the Magic channel, and you'll be able to find this video as well as several others where we have one of the key people that's talking about Magic and how he found his experience working with Magic. So the solution for Sennheiser was to have a standard adapter, the certified connector for J.D. Edwards, as well as the certified recognized connector for SugarCRM. They were very pleased with the ability that they didn't have to have any lengthy programming interfaces necessary. It was an environment that could be up and running very quickly for them. And considering the level of complexity with their flows, they needed something that was going to be quick and easy to build, to be able to focus on the business requirements rather than the technology underneath it. And that's what Magic has really provided them, to provide them with a lot of process automation. This is the type of solution that we offer to many of our customers, and all our customers benefit in different ways, but ultimately it is about process automation and having a central hub to be able to manage the projects going forward. So this is a very typical example of how a customer has benefited. And if you go onto the YouTube videos and listen to some of the people, the way that they have benefited, you'll find that typically it's been one project that has drawn them towards Magic XPI, Magic software, but ultimately it's been an environment that they have seen the benefits, and it's grown rapidly in these organizations where they can use it across multiple types of business areas, as well as for different types of functionality. And in fact, we've been quite amazed at the type of functionality that it's been used for by some of our customers. I'd like James to talk about some of the other case studies that we've both been involved in. So I'm going to hand over to James for now.
Yeah, thank you, David. Thank you, David. Yeah, I think we're doing okay on time. Apologies for those that signed up for this webinar. We actually marketed this webinar as a 30-minute, but it's actually, there was some confusion and it was an hour, so apologies for that. But I think we're getting fairly close to the end. I've got a couple of projects I just want to discuss, active projects that we're working on at the moment. This first one, I don't know if you can bring up the image to the left there, David. So we can't actually name the name of this company due to the confidentiality agreement that we have, but it is one of the active projects that is just starting to go into the build phase at the moment. They are a major UK food manufacturer, very large turnover, 120,000 employees worldwide. They're just deploying SugarCRM together with us, and they actually have a very large IT landscape, a lot of different systems, and in the initial stages of the SugarCRM project, we need to integrate with their ERP system. So they're also using, similar to Sennheiser, they're using Oracle JD Edwards. And the company actually already have licensed various other integration solutions. But either the functionality was missing from that solution, or the implementation would have been just simply too complex, excuse me, or they actually plan to drop that particular tool from their architecture in the future. Having known about Magic from meeting them at one of the SugarCon conferences in San Francisco a few years ago, and actually having some knowledge and exposure to the Sennheiser implementation with Sugar, Magic was introduced, and their XPI platform was ultimately chosen for this project. And the next slide, please, David. Thank you. So the second project that we're running at the moment, this has actually just gone into the testing phase. This is a European franchise, and they had some requirements to integrate their field service management tool with the Sugar implementation that we actually completed last year. They have, can you just bring up the the box just below that. So they have roughly 170 service centres across Europe, mainly in the UK and Germany. But they have actually 4 separate home-built field service management systems. Of course, there's a standard connector for Sugar, but there was not a standard connector for any of these field service management systems. And the solution was Magic. Initially, we were asked to scope and provide a price for writing a program, a script to integrate these various systems together with Sugar. We want our customer to be really successful with Sugar in the long term. So rather than quoting for writing the integration ourselves, we actually introduced Magic, who were able to demonstrate that their XBI tool could do exactly what they would need with minimal build time, and ultimately provide more flexibility in the future as they want to tweak any of the business flows or swap out a system. Actually, I think that's quite an important point. Is there are, I mean, I'm sure yourselves, if you have integrations between various systems at your organizations, many of those integration pieces might be bespokely written applications. And of course, it becomes very expensive when you want to swap out your ERP for something different, or swap out your finance system, or swap your CRM system. And of course, if you have to bespoke write the integration between those systems every time you make a change, then either you're forever dependent on the developer who wrote that integration, or it just becomes very, very expensive. So with a tool like the Magic XBI, it becomes very efficient if you want to swap out any of the key applications within your organization. So that's it for my 2 slides, David.
Okay, thank you, James. That's some really good examples of where we're working together at the moment, and that is only in the UK. There's obviously we've got projects globally, and I think at this stage we are coming towards the end. And as James had mentioned, if you had expected for 30 minutes, we do apologize. We've got up to an hour that was scheduled, but I think at this stage I'd like you to think about what your integration requirements could be or currently are. So there could be such a wide range of systems that can be integrated. Think about where the benefit would be for you to be able to integrate. It could be things like a transport management system. It could be a mobile system that you have. You're looking to provide information or building a mobile system as well. Think about the social aspect, being able to analyze data through some of the social media to make decisions and marketing activities based on current trends within the social media that's happening. And then, of course, things like the IoT. Are you building or obtaining devices that need to communicate with each other, or to be able to provide real-time information for analysis, again, for making particular decisions, business decisions moving forward? These are all the types of solutions that we can work together with you and help you with, and also to sit and discuss some of the areas where it could be of benefit to build integration flows and to plan that out, how to start the whole process, thinking about the planning of the flow through to building, ultimate testing, and then deploying, and then moving ahead from there. So these are the types of things I'd like you to think about. And of course, we would like to speak with everyone on the session individually to understand those calls, and I would certainly welcome you to get in touch directly with us through email, and we will certainly be in touch with you. You've got the contact details on the screen now for both James and for myself, you can contact us directly by phoning us or by sending us an email, either one of us, with particular requirements that you have, and we can talk through it and discuss. If you are a sugar customer already, or if you're considering moving to sugar, then we can guide you in that way and help you look at the types of considerations to be made, not only on the actual CRM platform, but how to maximize that in terms of the existing environment that you're currently working in for now, and then moving ahead. So these are the types of things that we'd love to talk to you about. We do have a few questions which we can address now. It's got a few moments. If that's okay with you, James, let's go through some of the questions.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, there's, let's see, I've got Mark, who has posted a question saying that they are thinking about changing our existing CRM to SugarCRM, and can the Magic product facilitate the migration of data? Okay, Mark, thank you for that. That's a great question. And of course, migration is a whole topic. It's a huge topic on its own, but it's certainly something that you need to consider how you want to approach it. So firstly, things like the existing data that is in the source system, how much of the data firstly needs to be cleansed before doing the migration. And then while you're approaching that migration, clearing it out, it needs to be done in particular phases. So for example, once the migration gets done, it can't be a one-off operation. It needs to be tested and, if possible, rolled back if there's changes, any mistakes, anything that needs to be done differently. So you need to set that out in a planned way. And that's how Magic can help you by building those flows, by creating the flows and monitoring it very closely and very carefully, looking at all the data that's going in and how it's going to respond in the target system. So most certainly Magic can help you with that, and we can help design it. I would also say that James, who's got a lot of experience in the implementation of sugar systems, would be a great person to contact on that as well, in terms of looking at the various options on how to approach that. So I hope that answers your question. There's another question we have here. We've been asked, do you offer services directly or only through partners in the UK? I presume that question is directed more towards Magic. From Magic's perspective, we do provide services locally. I mentioned we've got a presence in over 50 countries, and in each country we do provide local services for implementation, for ongoing support. So that is something that we do provide in the UK, and it's a very important component for us to be able to allow us to get closer to our customers, understand the requirements, and then of course to provide them with the advice, the consulting that's needed on an ongoing basis to be able to help them make the best decisions. So certainly we work very closely with our customers. We offer that professional services. I know, James, obviously you work in the UK. I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add from your side, but that's what from Magic, it's very much based in the UK. Okay, there's I think one more question we can address now. Is it possible to integrate our bespoke back office system with SugarCRM? Okay, so a bespoke system is as I was mentioning before, we've got connectors for the certified connectors for some of the major applications that are well known in the environment in the world. But in addition to that, we do provide a whole range of adapters that are able to communicate with bespoke applications that are designed in particular ways. And there's several ways that we approach that. So we will look at, firstly, if there's been any APIs that have been built, designed for that particular application. And if there is an API available, we will try and make use of that particular API. We will also look at the underlying database technology. We'll look at the overall functionality of how that system works and the actual integration requirements for that bespoke application. For now, if it's something that is going to be continued in the long term, and we'll make the decision on a number of factors. But most certainly, we're an integration company, and we encounter different types of systems on a regular basis. That's what we feed off. That's what we love. We love to hear about new systems, different types of challenges that we can offer solutions for. So most definitely, we can integrate to bespoke systems and allow that integration to happen directly with Sugar. So that, like we showed in that mapper, you'll have a source and a target, and the source could be your bespoke application. The target will be Sugar, and that data again gets exposed in a way that is very familiar, regardless of what the underlying actual technology is for both those systems. So yeah, we certainly can do. Okay, again, this session has been recorded, and you will get a link after this the session. But I would certainly encourage you to contact us so we can understand particular requirements that you have regarding the Sugar environment that you have, as well as integration. Okay, so with that, I think we're going to close off the webinar for today. But thank you very much for your time in attending, and we do hope that you will attend future webinars that we hold on a regular basis. So with that.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you, David, as well.
Great. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.